that you've unboxed.
Arlen.
Hey, hi, Ess.
Hi.
We did unbox.
Thank you so much.
We need a video though that we can send to you of us unboxing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool. You videoed that?
Yeah.
Yes, so you did.
Oh, thank you.
Was it a surprise? Was it like up to your expectations?
Is
The
it
content.
Christmas?
We had low expectations, really. Did you?
I was shocked at how full the box
It
was.
full.
I thought it was
Alicia.
like, like maybe this.
But no, we have
No.
so much.
It's like full to the top.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
so
quite back-breaking, actually.
Oh no, Alicia, you okay?
No, it's okay. I'm fine. Yeah, okay. Again, welcome to our little Asian chit chat Zoom room. Welcome, Ess. Welcome, Arlen.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for giving us this incredible honor, and deciding to spend this precious Saturday evening with us. The world has to know that this is a Saturday evening for you.
Yeah, it's wild.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
No other way.
And also, as you had to rush back from training.
Yes. Yep. I was doing some circus training,
Mhm.
about a half-hour drive south. So I did a couple hours of aerial straps and I did a couple hours of contortion. And now I'm very tired and very hungry.
Hey.
Good to hear. Good to hear. But before we move further, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our special guest fan. Arlen might notice we have somebody else here today. It's Logan. Logan is a fan of the show Motherland, Salem, and especially admires both of you greatly, and looks up to Ess. So we thought that it will be very meaningful, very meaningful for Logan to join us today.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so we, as usual, we'll go one round of introduction.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start first. I'm Alicia from Singapore, and you'll see behind us is something different this time. The virtual background is no longer iconic places in our respective countries because those are touristy. So because now that we are well on our way to becoming BFFs with Arlen, self-proclaimed, Ess, don't worry, you will catch up soon. Yeah, we'll catch up. Okay.
Yeah, we will catch up.
Yes. So we thought that we'll invite you to our neighborhood, to our homes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a virtual background showing a typical housing estate in Singapore. Singapore is very small. It's a very small country. It's about 0.02% of the size of Vancouver Island. Vancouver has got, I think, 600,000 people, but Singapore has got 5.5 million people. So it's very densely populated. So the way is to go up, right? So that's why we have a lot of high-rise buildings. So the houses are all built upwards. So averagely, it's about 12 floors at least, but now we are building higher and higher. So averagely about 24 stories high.
Wow.
And the highest public housing that we have is 52 stories high. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you live there?
No, I don't. Yeah, not here. Yeah, Singapore is very small, just in case I got stalked by people. Okay, no. Yeah, so it's a typical housing estate and it's very self-sufficient. We have like residential areas, right? A lot of buildings, they are public housing. 81% of the households in Singapore live in public housing. Yeah. And then, okay, so it's so that we will definitely have a park in each housing estate. So that's, you see the park here, a bit of greenery. So we got shopping malls, places of worship. We have many ethnic groups. So there are mosques for the Muslims, Hindu temples, Chinese temples, churches, and so on. Yeah, all in the same neighborhood, and schools. And here is our hawker center. It is like a congregation of small food stores, all under one roof. And each store owner dish out their own speciality. So in under one roof, you can see a variety of food. Yeah, so this is our hawker culture, which we are very proud of.
Cool.
Yeah, so it reflects multiculturalism as well. So yeah, come to Singapore.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to keep on mentioning this. And to update, there is now a direct flight from Singapore to Canada. Now you do not need 23 hours. Sorry?
You told me last time there was a direct flight.
Now it's more direct even.
It's more.
Yeah, you don't need 23 hours now, you only need 14 hours.
Straight to Alicia's house.
Yeah, come please visit us. Okay, I've taken a lot of time already. Let's pass on to Grace. Grace.
Okay, why am I disappearing? Okay, hi.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, I'm Grace and I'm from Thailand. And this is my hometown. It's called Ratchaburi. It's located to the west of Bangkok, which is our capital city. And Ratchaburi is full of nature, cultural, rich, and artistic. But I think most of the tourists are more attracted to nature. So I would like to present you more artistic side of my hometown. Actually, my hometown is famous in making like jar, pottery, sculpture, something like that. Also ceramic things. So you can see that we have like decorations, like ceramic decorations a lot. And my hometown is called like a city of art because in almost every area are covered with art, as you can see. We have a lot of many street arts, and these are just few of them. And I think growing up and being surrounded by these beautiful things really inspire me and, stimulate my passion about art too. And I think it's part of the reason for me to do what I do today. So that is my story, and I'm so glad that I'm sharing this with you all today. And
Great. You got to be on those. You got to do some art on the street too.
I did once.
You did.
Yeah.
No big deal. That's a
So just in case As didn't watch the video, our video with Arlen, and why didn't you watch it? Okay. Anyway, so you could have missed out that the rest.
Alicia likes roasting.
Yeah, that's me. The rest of the group.
Roast us.
Yeah.
So I just mean, I
That's
thought
her
I was-
brand.
You're also getting dragged. I think it's a sign of love.
Yes.
That's my expression of love. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the rest of them are artists in the fandom, very talented artists in the fandom. Yes.
The art that you've shared on your stories have been these guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mhm.
I have some gift for you too.
Oh. What?
Oh my God, why is Chit disappearing?
Yeah. I can see that. Show it again.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Oh, I will upload it after
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
I'm too bald for the green screen.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I will pass it on to Sean. Let's go.
Hi, yes. Arlen. Hi. It's me, Sean. I'm from the Philippines, and this is my neighborhood. These are just the places that I would go to because our city is so wide. So this is Carnival. This is this purple thingy right there. This is where I first vomit. The Carnival.
You vomit?
Too much
Because I
details
didn't
for the
write.
morning.
I didn't even ride the rides yet, but I can feel the fear already, so I vomited. And then this is the famous landmark. This is the fruit durian.
Oh,
Famous-
yes.
Yes, in our country, in my city, Davao, and that's a fountain. And this is the front of our school. So
The
that's just
Maybe?
it.
Make it a-
McDonald's.
The Mac dog, yes, the
Are you
McDonald's.
endorsing?
No, not sponsored. Yeah. These places are close to my heart.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
that's
for
it.
sharing.
So I'm gonna pass it now to Sonnet.
Okay. Hi to both of you. I am Sonnet from Malaysia. So as you can see from we start below because this is my housing area. So if we go straight, we will reach to the National Zoo over there, National Zoo. So my mom said that during the 90s, she would hear, every morning she would hear the lions roar or the elephant making the sounds. So, and then, nowadays there's more, shut up, Alicia. No. And,
It has to be
just-
family friendly, Sonnet.
okay.
Name.
Okay, and then just 20 minutes drive, we will reach to the city area. This is the nightlife. And then wait a minute. And then down there, even though you are in the city, we still have Eco Park. So it has about 200 meters of canopy ride. So you can walk there. So I guess that's all from me.
Amazing.
So-
Thank you.
And then, of course, Logan.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's me.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Logan. I'm from the Philippines also, same as Shan. And this is my neighborhood. I should have put, I'm from Surigao City, the city, it's called City Island of Adventures. And it's from the second largest island in the Philippines. So we're called the gateway to Mindanao, near to Shan, and yeah. And this right here is like we have a giant shoe in our park right there, and I took the rest of the photos except of the shoe. So this is the highway in my neighborhood, and this is how it looked like in my city. The sky and still green. Yes, that's all.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so welcome to our neighborhood. Yes, and so to again, formalities, I got to introduce our special guests for this session. So I'll start off with Ess. Today we are indeed very honored to have with us Ess, a Canadian award-winning performance artist, contortionist, and aerial performer who plays M, the protective Covent leader in Motherland, Fort Salem. As usual, I Googled this. Okay, yes. Ess has been a stunt actor and double in several well-known movies and series such as It, Titans, The Boys, and The Expanse. While pursuing their acting career, they now still perform around the world as a circus performer and contortionist. Welcome, Ess. As you can see, I avoided having to pronounce your family name because I just didn't want to show any disrespect.
That's all right. I've been disrespected my whole life.
Sorry.
I can teach you how to pronounce my last name if you'd like.
Okay,
Yes, please.
I'll give it a go.
I'm going to tell you all the made up names I was called as a kid instead.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Oh, 1, Hödlmoser.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's
no.
bad.
Nice.
Model toaster.
what?
Outreach.
That's so far.
Yeah.
Total monster.
Oh, that's not nice.
I like total monster.
Okay, then if you like it.
I'm a middle child, so I got middle moser,
Okay.
bulldozer. Yeah. But okay, my last name is from Austria. And a great way to remember this is that in Austria, in the Alps, you might find some yodeling,
Mm.
Oh.
you know, where they like sit there and they're lederhosen and like sing out like the sound of music.
Can you yodel
Yes.
for
No.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh,
Come on.
me?
Okay, so the first part of my last name rhymes with yodel. It looks different because all those consonants are jammed together like a mess, but you just say H instead of Y. So instead of yodel, you say hodl. And then moser is pretty easy.
Hödlmoser.
Hödlmoser.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh,
Hödlmoser.
Yeah.
Welcome.
yay.
Okay,
Thank you.
now a sonnet to introduce our repeating guest.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, so Arlen is a Canadian actress, and she has an impressive she has an impressive body of works spanning from theater, television, and film. She is most noted for her performance in the film Roots in February, for which she won the Vancouver Film Critics Circle Award for Best Actress in a Canadian Film in 2019. And perhaps for Motherland for Salem fans, Arlen is best known as the mysterious, sassy, and powerful founder and supreme leader of the spree.
Spree
All
boss.
together again.
Yay.
We are the
Yeah.
spree.
We
We are the spree.
are the spree.
Okay.
We are the spree.
Yeah. Okay. So let's. Yeah. Sorry. Arlen, you were saying.
I was just saying thank you. Thank you for the intro again.
I was saying, I thought you were going to say Arlen has an impressive body.
Oh, that's Alicia.
This is all Alicia's fault.
It's Alicia. It's all
A lot
Alicia.
of fight training.
I admit it. I wrote it, but when I said it, it was perfectly okay. It had to be sonnet, right? Remember the first video? It was
Solid boss.
It's just the
Solid
pause.
boss. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pause.
Impressive
Yeah.
body
Why, thank you.
of work.
Thank you so much.
Solid was blushing.
I love it.
Maybe bless you.
Okay. All right. So we of course this session is a special food session.
Yes.
Yes, in order for Arlen to partly to redeem herself after her plain popcorn situation.
Like failure.
Yeah.
Epic failure. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So but before we eat,
Okay.
we have some questions.
Okay.
Okay. So
What
we'll
if
start
you're
off.
hungry?
Here.
I'm just
You
kidding.
just have to bear with it. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, he's hungry.
Okay, so all right, so let's start with S. Our first question from Sonnet, please.
Okay, so the first question is, do you argue a lot with Arlen? I'm joking. I'm joking.
If they're honest. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, right. So
Awesome.
the serious one, okay? Performances and competition have brought you to many countries, France, Germany, and also China. Can you share your most favorite traveling experience?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
My favorite so far, I was traveling for work still, but I wasn't performing necessarily. In 2019, sorry, pandemic time is weird. In 2019, I went to Mongolia for a long time to study some Mongolian contortion. It was a 32-hour travel situation because there's no direct flights to Ulaanbaatar, not a popular destination from Canada. So it was, I had to really want it, you know, to get there. And it was a beautiful experience. My main contortion coaches have all been Mongolian, and I love all of the different kinds of Mongolian art that's wrapped up in that particular style of contortion, from traditional Mongolian music to bielgi, traditional Mongolian folk dance. And then of course, I'm a huge circus nerd. So it was a beautiful country and a really exciting experience for me as a, you know, budding contortionist. So that one's pretty high on my list right now, I'd have to say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
But just a follow-up question. You've been to Zhuhai as well for the International Circus Festival, did you? Zhuhai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been stalking you on the Instagram, so yes, I saw the photo.
It was an interesting experience because we were not allowed off the resort. So it was like 24 circus artists trapped on a resort. But the resort was circus themed. Like it was
Weird.
yeah.
They should make a reality TV show.
We had
Yeah.
like yeah.
Sure.
We had a couple public shows in Macau and some other like smaller places along the way, but like we were put on a bus, shuttled to like the opera house. They were like, perform, and then it was back on the bus back to the resort. So I mean, it was beautiful what I saw, but I'm like, I was on a resort. I don't feel like I really got to enjoy a lot of Southern Chinese culture, unfortunately. And then while the resort definitely seems to cater to Chinese nationals, like that was mostly who was there, other than the swarm of circus artists descending on the dining hall every day. Yeah, like there was, I feel like you really get to know a place through food. It was a beautiful place to be, but I'm like, oh, the food is definitely catered towards like some more like Western palates for sure. It's delicious. I was happy to be there. It was a wonderful performing experience, but I didn't really get to explore through food the way I normally would want to try.
Yeah, another reason to come back to Asia. Have you visited any parts of Asia other than China?
Yeah. I mean, we're not counting airports, are we?
No.
No, but I did almost grow up in Singapore. I was like,
we could have been BFFs earlier. What happened?
Yeah.
So I know we can blame my dad. My dad was a pilot. My dad was actually no, we can blame my mother.
I tracked that mother.
My dad was a pilot, and he worked for a Canadian airline company that went under after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Like a lot of airline companies didn't survive a year after that. But my dad knew how to fly a lot of different planes, which when you're a kid, you're like, my dad drives a plane. But apparently it's more standard for a pilot to like study or learn like one aircraft or one or two. My dad, for some reason, knows how to fly a whole bunch, which made him an attractive hire, and Singapore Airlines was headhunting him. And he like went there for interviews and everything. And he was like, yeah, you know how like we have raccoons like running through the garbage? You could have monkeys running through the garbage. I was like, yes, give me the monkeys.
Arlen likes monkeys.
I love monkeys.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the deciding factor, my mom gets terrible migraines, and they're often weather related. And she felt like we moved to a country as humid as Singapore, she might spend the rest of her life with a migraine, and she wasn't into it. I, as a selfish child, was very disappointed, but you know, I got through the disappointment, and here we are today.
Hey.
It's never too late, Ess. Never too late.
Yeah, you get to meet.
Okay. Yep. So on to the next question now to Arlen. Arlen, your first question. What is the tallest building in Montreal?
No! Again?
Did you research?
Coming at me.
Did you do your research?
Do you want to look at S will do
No,
it.
No, just
Yes,
kidding.
we'll do it.
S got her.
Doing it.
Yes, yeah, it's a French name, Rennie Lavesque.
Rennie Levesque? Rennie Levesque?
Yes.
Oh,
Wait,
Rennie
Alicia, did you
Lavesque.
look it up? Oh my
Yes, I looked it up.
they got teamwork.
God.
Alicia just Google it.
Is it? It's got 47 story.
Well,
correct?
actually, Alicia, it's Rennie Levesque and it's 47 floors.
Oh my
There's your
God.
answer, Alicia.
You're
She
burning.
did research.
We should cut that earlier part.
Most floors. The most floors.
Yes, and in height,
The most floors is de la gauche et tiers. The address is 1051.
That's a lot of details, Alicia.
that's cheating. Yeah.
Oh,
Relying on someone else for the answer is cheating. Okay, never mind.
that's teamwork, you know. Man's gonna do what I do.
I was just being rude and texting someone
Exactly.
else.
Really?
Oh yeah, exactly. Alicia, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so on to the actual question, Grace, please.
Okay, so since our last chit chat session has been released, and there's lots of fans comments especially Asian fans, saying that they are so grateful and feel seen because of how considerate and open-minded and generous you are, Arlen. So they send huge love to you, and I want to know, how do you feel about that response?
Oh my God, I feel so grateful. That's so kind. I hope I can continue to send that love and get that circle going, that reciprocal circle. But mwah, kisses. Oh, we lost a kiss here. How
Okay.
how do I say I send you kisses?
Which language?
Yeah, you got
Grace.
language. Yeah.
It's Grace.
Okay, great.
Thai.
Okay, in Thai, we say,
Okay.
"Rak na tuk tuk."
Lakna tutu. Okay, got it. Your turn. Okay, no.
Wait, no.
Okay, I got something to say. I got something to say with regard to the message that Arlen gave to the Asian fans. Arlen, when you gave that the message, I think what really touched us a lot was when you said "you matter." When you matter. So I want to say to you, Arlen, that when you said that, you did not only tell us that we matter. You actually showed us that we do. As well. Okay, because I want the world to know that when I actually asked, I had the audacity to send an invitation asking for a session like this. I want the world to know that Arlen did not ask a single question. She didn't ask she didn't know, you didn't know who I was. You only knew that I'm a fan from Asia. And if you had looked at my Instagram account, it's very sad because the following is less than 200 followers. So I was very surprised. I was very moved that you said yes. This could only stem from a genuine interest and the desire to want to connect with us, and also I don't, my years of education is failing me now. I'm like a bit speechless. So
You're doing great.
I'm just saying that we are very moved. I will never forget this, Arlen and Ess, because I think Ess expressed the interest to want to meet us as well. We will not forget this. Thank you so much, and it only shows your kindness and empathy. We will never forget this. Thank you.
Shan, are you crying?
Shan is crying.
No, I'm not crying.
Shan.
I'm so sorry.
It's also unforgettable for me too. When I rewatched it, I was like, that lovely thing we had all together. Like, it meant a lot to me as well. And I'm just so happy to be able to share that with us now. Because I was like, come meet the gang, and now Logan as well. So
Thank you. Yeah,
I hope.
I honestly, I cried watching it. I'm from a viewer's point. I cried really. I took points of the conversations you had, and it made me cry. Like, representation matters, and it's so important that people get to see themselves in TV. And it's took it a lot. Thank you so much.
Don't cry.
Oh, are we hugging? Are we okay? We're hugging.
Group hug.
So hug.
welcome, Ess.
Comfort ourselves.
Welcome, Ess.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope that you've been warned by Arlen as well, that we could be very chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
With the
I would
roasting.
probably get dragged, and that Ess would probably get dragged a little bit. That was my warning.
I think on that grid, people use to describe characters or personalities, I would be like chaotic good. So
Yes.
I'm very comfortable here.
This is great.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Very
again.
welcome. Yes.
Okay, so now let's go back to Ess. A question from Shan, please.
Please.
Oh yeah. So for Ess, can you share with us your journey into becoming a contortionist and performing with the circus, then to stunt coordinator and stunt double?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait till the sirens are gone.
Yeah, there's sirens going. We can dance to
What is that?
Siren.
Siren.
sirens.
Okay.
I don't.
They're not great for us, so I'm trying to make it more positive.
Thank you.
Let's go dance. Everybody dance.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It's
I'm
almost
sweating.
okay. I think it's gone kind of.
It's farther. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna try to do this fast so that it's not like an hour. All right, so
They don't mind. They don't mind.
Yeah, we don't mind.
Yeah, we don't mind. Take your
We love
time.
hearing you talk.
Please. Yes, please.
In order to tell you how I ended up coming to contortion, I had to tell you a little bit about what I was doing in my life before then, because I don't have any background in gymnastics or dance, which are, I would say, two of the more common realms of athletic experience that you would find for someone who does make their way to contortion or circus arts in general. So that wasn't me. I was a band geek. I played like 7 or 8 different instruments. I was part of every single band that my high school had. I played piano and flute and French horn and trumpet and trombone, and even did a year of a university program in classical violin before switching, but that's a different story. No, I can't play violin still. But when I was finishing my undergrad degree, not in violin, as it turned out, I ended up finding a Muay Thai gym. And yes, I see you. And I was like, oh, I like this. And I was like not athletic at all. I like went to one class and it was really, really fun. And I just started going like 5 times a week until the owner of the gym was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you here all the time? What are you doing? He was very blunt. I was like, I don't know, crew. And he was like, you should join the fight team. I was like, I've had a lot of head injuries. That seems like a bad idea. And he's like, no, you're good at fighting. No head injuries. I was like, okay.
Let's go.
Head injuries, that argument was enough to convince me to go into a sport where head injuries are highly likely. So, I mean, cause and effect, rational decision-making was not high at that point in my life. I'd been hit by a lot of cars while biking through the city. Yeah. I ended up having a fight career and I ended up doing quite well. I won a North American championship in Muay Thai and I went semi-pro. I started fighting in the States and in like Western Canada. But then, as can happen in Muay Thai, I ended up getting really badly injured in training. My goal at that point was to like buy a plane ticket when I graduated, which was about 6 months away, and to move to Thailand so I could go pro and have some more experience, because you just can't get the fight experience you can get in Thailand and Canada. And a couple of my teammates did move to Thailand, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get up at 5 a.m. and run 10 kilometers every day and knee a bag for 2 hours. That sounds perfect for me. The injury I ended up having was a really bad head injury. And it took me about a year to recover. It was a brain injury. And there was points where I couldn't talk very well. There was weeks where I couldn't read. And I kind of had to be really patient and work my way back up to the level of functioning that I had just taken for granted before. It was really hard and really scary and really lonely. And it was about a year before the doctors cleared me to like do any kind of physical activity. So like I went from training 40 to 45 hours a week to just nothing. My old fighting partner took me to a circus class and I hated it. But this gym had this program where I could train for 20 hours a week. I had tried going to dance classes. I had tried going to like recreational stuff, but I think I just really wanted something that was a bit more all-consuming. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I do circus now because I can't fight. The doctors were like, if you have another head injury, it'll be really bad. Like you just can't. And I was like, okay. And within like a year of just kind of doing introductory circus training, I saw a contortionist for the first time. I never went to any circus shows growing up. The contortionist was a Mongolian woman named Serchma Byamba, Serchmabamba. She lives in San Francisco now. And she was doing the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. She was like folded in 3 pieces with her arms up in the air and like all the traditional Mongolian like dress that you wear for a contortion show. And I was like, showed it to my coach and I was like, what is this? And she was like, oh, that's contortion. And I was like, can I do that? And I think I was like the annoying student because I was an adult student. I was 24 when I started circus. I was like, can I do it? And I was not. Was not flexible.
You
I was
weren't?
no.
Like how not flexible?
I couldn't touch my toes.
No. That means I could do this then.
Yes.
Maybe. I'm a big advocate for like if you work hard, you can get pretty far. But
wow, that's I mean clearly
this
You two can train.
I think this coach was humoring me, and maybe was in retrospect being sarcastic, which I have a hard time picking up on sometimes. So when she was like, yeah, just go start doing some cobras and see where it goes, I was like, okay. And so I did.
Oh no.
My tumbling coach was like, he was like this really like, he used to be a national level gymnastics coach. And like, I think he was really bored by all the like adult circus students because he used to like train like the best. Just like, I'll be surprised if you can ever do a bridge, let alone a back walk over.
Rude.
And I was like, challenge accepted. Bad habit of mine, but when people tell me I can't do something, I tend to take it too far.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll show
see that.
you. And so I
see
started traveling to San Francisco, and I found, okay, here's the weird thing though. They offered me a stunt day. The stunt thing was for contortion. I met another contortionist on set, and she's like, oh, I'm from San Francisco. This was in Toronto. She was like, you should come stay with me in San Francisco and train with my coach. This is about 2 years into my stunt career. I said, that's really generous of you. Are you sure? Like, you just met me. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. It's just what you do in circus. I was like, okay. Who's your coach? And she's like, Search Ma Biamba.
That's what I thought.
I was like, oh, that's the woman I saw in the photo like 4 years ago. And so I got to go to San Francisco and train with like the person that I saw that made me want to do it. I'm like shaking the table.
I know.
Really bad.
It's okay. You're excited. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very odd confluence of events.
It's like a destiny.
It's kind of right. I'm
Yes, you met. Wow. Like,
not a very superstitious person, but it's odd.
Yeah.
It's odd.
yeah.
A lot of connection.
Yeah. All right. I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
I've soaked up a lot of time. I only have half, but
It's okay. We love you talking.
I mean, the getting into stunts thing is not nearly as interesting. Also, I am not and will never be a stunt coordinator. That's kind of like a boss stunt person. I've been a performer, I've been a double, but I've never been a coordinator.
That's different thing.
Okay.
Somewhere on the internet that's written, and it's a gross lie. It's never had that much responsibility on set in my life, and I don't want it.
You're killing it
But,
now.
but I read that you assisted the stunt coordinator. Did you?
Yes, I was an
Oh.
assistant. But this is okay, so this is also unfortunate. Being an assistant stunt coordinator is still like above the riffraff like me. Being assistant to a stunt coordinator, that tiny little two,
Oh.
means like you're a grunt who carries stacks of paper and you're not important, but you better not fuck it up. Yeah. So like, was I responsible for anyone's safety? No, never. Was I responsible for answering emails at 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. all the time? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so that's the
how it
brutal
works.
truth.
The brutal truth. I was never.
That's how it works.
But your journey is just remarkable. It's very awe-inspiring from the brain injury, which we also read about. Yeah, that the recovery is just remarkable. Yeah, we are so glad that you are here, and look how far you have come.
Me too. I mean, I've made some pretty bad choices. So, like, lucky me. I don't mean bad like self-destructive, but like bad as in like, oh, that could have gone really badly. Lucky it didn't.
There's one question that's very closely related. Maybe Grace, you can ask that question. Your question about the Muay Thai thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we know that you were a Muay Thai fighter. So
From a Thai person now.
yeah. I'm Thai. And
Pressure's on.
I did try to, practice it once.
Yes, great.
Cannot believe it. And it's so hard. Like, it's quite hard. So I was wondering, for you, which one is more harder between Muay Thai things and contortion things?
Ooh, I mean, they're very challenging in different ways. And if I had to generalize, I would say it's the pace of it. So Muay Thai is so cardio intense.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, like, you can beat someone in a fight if you can outrun them. A lot of people don't do their cardio homework for a fight and they gas out by like the second round. Not in Thailand. I mean, I think people you see in like pro fights in Thailand are like doing their 10K runs.
Wow.
But in Canada, there's lots of people who are like, yeah, I'm strong. And I'm like just running circles around them in the ring by the third round because they're like, contortion is challenging. Okay, I couldn't apply the mindset that I learned in Muay Thai to contortion the way I thought I could. So Muay Thai taught me to be very mentally tough because it's very painful. And I had a lot of points in my Muay Thai career towards the end of it, before my injury, where it was bringing up a lot of, I don't know why, like it was bringing up a lot of really triggering stuff for me. So like I'd be having panic attacks in training, which is not conducive to sparring. But like, it was just like, nobody in a fighting gym is going to be like, are you okay? Are you having a PTSD episode? You know, they're just going to be like, put your hands up. Like, and it's like, I didn't have that kind of coaching or training or experience in life. So it's like, there was value in having that experience, like tough love, I guess. But in contortion, it's more about like whispering instead of yelling. So it's like, if you yell, like, just try harder, just stay in the position longer. In contortion, I think it's very likely that you'll injure yourself. And that's it. Like, it can take so long to come back from an injury. The psychological weight of how am I injured? What if I get injured again? How do I fix this is different than other sports that I've done. And it's about like a really intense attunement, a really intense sense of your interiority. So like your mind muscle connection of like, okay, I need to move this, but only this much. And I have to do it at exactly the same time as this thing. And I have to be like peaceful while I do it. So like, you can't like muscle your way through a lot of contortion things in the beginning because like you need to convince your nervous system that nothing bad is happening. Whereas in Muay Thai, you're just like, screw you, nervous system, we're doing what I say. It's, yeah, very different attitudes. And when I started Circus, I was like, okay, I'm going to climb to the top of the rope. Yeah, just try harder. And then I'm like, oh shit. Now
That's high.
6 meters in the air and my hands are weakening and I'm going to fall to my death. Like in Muay Thai, the coach is like, push harder, push more.
Yeah.
That's true.
Do. But like in Circus, if you're climbing a silk and you're 10 meters in the air, you need to have just as much strength to come back down. It's not easy. And if you start moving too fast, it will literally burn all the skin off your hands. Like it looks so pretty. It looks so effortless.
But it's not.
No.
It's not.
I'd say the main parallel between Muay Thai and Circus is like in proper Muay Thai, like you're not supposed to show if you're hurt. In Canada,
Yeah.
and especially like Americans that I fought, it's like if you kick someone and their rib fractures, they're probably gonna show it.
Ouch.
But in Thailand, our coaches were like, you're not allowed to show anything. So they'd be like, hit me again.
That's why I quit. That's why I quit because I hate yelling. I hate that, you know, it's so tough. Yeah.
There's a showmanship to it, right? You're like,
Yeah,
oh, break the other one, bring it on.
Yeah.
Like in contortion, it's not easy and it's not comfortable, but you have to be like,
True.
Comfortable.
Thank you for your answer.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to Arlen now. Logan, your question, please.
I was filming and just kidding. I mean, I'm just kidding. What's the most rebellious thing you have done in your teens?
In my what?
Teenager times. Teens.
Oh, my teens.
Yes.
Oh my god, the most rebellious thing I did in my teens?
Yeah, that you can remember. Anything?
Spill.
Risky one?
Arlen,
What
Oh,
did you do?
What did you do?
eyebrows are moving.
Okay, I actually have to think about this because I was a pretty chill teen.
Take your time.
What did I do that was rebellious? Oh my god, I feel like I'm at this point I wasn't that cool.
Wait,
Oh.
what's gonna happen if you disappoint? This is what happened last time you disappointed.
Oh no, I'm gonna get dragged forever. No. Okay, rebellious. I mean, I don't know, like, this is not rebellious at all, but I look very young, and I looked very young kind of always. And when I was a teenager, I pretended to get on the bus. I pretended to be like a 7-year-old. I just put my hair in pigtails. And I'd be like, hi. And I just run for free. And I did that till I was about maybe like 14, 15. And I used to trick or treat as like an 18-year-old, pretending I was like a really young child. And I got a lot of candy. So yeah.
I mean, props to that, It's like, it's how you're starting acting. You're already.
I was performing.
Yes.
I was like,
yes.
Exactly. So it's pretty like not that rebellious.
Yeah, you're genetically gifted, so yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's impressive.
Why not? Yeah, you look young, so yeah. But I did check out your IG story. You are very socially aware. Watching your IG story is like attending a social awareness class. Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that. Actually, you post a lot.
Same.
Your post is either about uplifting your peers, or it's about the challenges faced by some marginalized communities. So you're drawing attention to them and all that. So it's really very good. So I'm just wondering, where did this come from? When did it start? Do you remember when did this start? And is there a particular cause that is closest to your heart?
Well, my dad comes from Chile, so he left a dictatorship, and so I grew up learning a lot about that as a child, and I learned a lot through him to always look outside of my own experience and trying to think about other people and their experiences, and to know more of the world as possible. So listen to music and art and learn a lot about the other. And so I think in doing that, you realize that there's lots of injustice in the world. And I don't think there's one particular cause I'd have to say. I think there's so many different axes of oppression that kind of, we all live in a multitude of different ways. And so what I guess fuels me is just to try and work towards building a world where everyone can feel respected. And that could be race, gender, economic background, what other disability. And so it's sometimes, I guess, when you watch my stories, you'll see that it goes like from woo to all these subjects. It's because I do care about all of them. And I know that obviously I'm not going to know everything. And there's clearly experiences I might have no idea about. So I'm just trying to do my best to learn as much as I can. And to bring awareness. And thank you so much, Alicia, for donating. I appreciate that so much, that there was some kind of connection in that way. I also know that not everyone has the ability to give money, because we're not all fountains of cash. So I think the more that public opinion changes, sometimes policy follows suit. So the more we can educate each other. And I try to do that with love as much as I can. But I think it's just through learning the experience of my father and trying to and learning about the world. You're just like, wow, racism exists, ableism exists, white supremacy exists, and you're just like, all of this sucks. So how can we take care of each other? Yeah.
It's very amazing that you and also Ess, you use your platform to bring this to the attention of more people. Yeah.
Well, I don't love social media, but I know it's a form of connection with you, and so I appreciate it for that. But I think if people want to connect to who I am, that's a big part of who I am, and that feels like the most honest thing I can do on the platform that seemingly can feel very dishonest in a lot of ways. So yeah.
Yeah. S2 actually, you posted something about some conversation about trans gender recently. Yeah. So it's actually very enlightening for many people. Yeah. But we will come back to this again. But let's go to the next question, because I think y'all are getting hungry already. Okay, so we need to go through a few questions. So Sonnet, your question, please. For S.
For us, okay. So, okay, no funny question. There are speculations that there might be a time jump between the end of season 2 to the start of season 3. And this largely came about because of you. I mean, you grew your hair. So, are you able to talk about that?
I mean,
No.
Delete, is it?
Cannot talk.
obviously, we're not. Look at you. You're so sweet.
I'll bring it. I have tea. I just be like,
The tea.
You're on your own, S.
Can't tell you anything about like what's happening in season 3. Tell you about myself
mhm.
is that my hair grows freakishly fast.
It does.
Like
Okay.
I can attest to this. I can
this hair is literally 2 weeks of hair
Mhm.
from my forehead. I'm not making this up. Like
Also,
it's just
you don't know if S is in the first episode.
Yep.
That's true. That's true.
So
They
the-
found a way.
it's a very
Yeah.
interesting assumption, but you don't know that. I'm just putting it out.
Found a way to dodge that.
Okay.
You can understand the fans are quite bored, so that's why.
Yeah, we had a lot of
See,
theories.
Yeah,
When
but
the
we
hiatus
come up
came
with
out.
theories.
We're gonna talk practicalities.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the general practicalities of like scene continuity for actors. So like we don't see it as much like on a character like Scylla or Rael because there's braids or like it's about the same length, right? Mostly you're like, oh, they have medium hair, they have long hair, whatever.
I'm very curious about where you're going with this. But
Oh my god.
I had to
S is
shave-
constructing it.
I had to shave my head for continuity like every 2 days.
yeah.
And it sucks.
Mhm.
In real life, like I've had a shaved head for many years, mostly like started because of stunts, and I'd get hired to play monsters, and it was really beneficial for the prosthetics department to not have to cut my hair. They could just glue the prosthetics onto my skull.
Mhm.
And then I just, got hired that way. So that's how it stayed. But like, I'd never had a gig where I was like, oh, a week has passed since you've been on camera, but in the story, 1 hour has passed. You need to come to set with your head shaved. My skin was so angry, having to keep it that short day after day after day. The hair department was like, here's this special powder, here's all these new razors. And I was just like, every night before set, like looking at my trimmers being like,
Oh no.
so I'm not saying anything else. I am saying that my scalp is in much less pain this year, regardless of the timeline theories that are currently circulating in the Motherland sphere. And I'm gonna button it in.
Oh, there's the answer.
Very good.
Everyone.
Very good. Very good.
Good save.
go.
Good save.
Good
Good save.
Dodge it.
Okay, so since we are on the show question, maybe Logan, your question for S, please.
What? Wait, just kidding. Okay. How's your experience interacting with the Switches or Motherland fandom? Or the first time your Twitter notifications blew up? Keeps blowing up. Yeah, how's your experience?
The experience has been very positive because I mean, the Motherland fandom seems to be populated by humans like yourselves. I am very flattered that you think I know how to use Twitter well enough.
No, you
blew up.
were there in live tweeting. Yeah.
I saw like the 20 and the plus sign, and I was like, oh, no. It's the plus sign. I'm just like,
What does that mean?
Okay. Nope.
there's more.
Oh, okay.
More
okay,
than
yeah,
20.
Yeah.
But there could be so many that we just stopped counting.
Oh.
Yes. Stop counting. Don't bother.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so like I haven't felt overwhelmed by the Motherland fandom. And I mean, I'm not good at Twitter. Arlen and I tried our best.
Ess did teach me some skills though. I learned
Twitter?
gifts
Oh.
with you. You taught me gifts.
Yeah, but now you
Yeah.
me.
I mean, I love gifts. Gifts are my love language right now. But Ess did teach me gifts. So
Oh.
Okay.
we did.
Aw.
Yeah, Twitter is not super overwhelming. And then I've been overwhelmed by social media on a platform like TikTok. Like I've woken up to
Yeah.
thousands of notifications and I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
Oh.
no. But yeah, with Twitter, I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm like still like, okay, retweeting. Okay, if I try to answer now, it's like its own thread and I didn't want that. And then like everyone's so succinct. And I'm
True.
Yeah, they're so fat. That's why gifts are easy.
Yes.
It's just a gift.
Yeah.
I'm obviously very long-winded. So Twitter is not a great medium for me.
Oh.
It's
It's
a
okay,
different
it's okay.
creature altogether.
I want to write like an essay.
I figured out that you could cut out
Same.
letters like and just make it like R and like and.
Even
and,
that can't help me.
You know.
Yeah, only 240 characters,
Same.
I think. Yeah, there's a character limit of 240.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing though, and like this is a problem even like trying to find my lines in the script.
Oh.
When you search M,
Oh yeah.
not like
There's so many M's.
what does that mean?
True. Oh my God.
Right? Like when I got the first script for season 2 of Motherland, I wrote the production office and I said, hey, I'm trying to like command F and find my character's name in the script to make sure I'm not missing scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like be unprepared. The first table read we had, and whoever received that email in production, I was like, could we maybe change it to like M-Sekhmet or M-Covent leader or M-S even, like anything. And that production assistant clearly forwarded it to Elliot, the showrunner, who I hadn't talked to yet. And his answer was, what's the matter? Do you not like the name? Is there something wrong with the name? Do we need to have a conversation about the name? And I was like, no, that's not what I meant. No, I just can't find my line. He was like, oh, I'll have my assistant send you your scenes. And I'm just like,
It's handy.
it was handy for that episode.
Yeah, just that.
Every other episode, I'm like going through with a magnifying glass, making sure
I can see the struggle.
So on a related note, it's like on Twitter, I don't know if Arlen ever goes on and searches Nicte.
Oh, you can do that?
Yes, remember on Nicte?
Arlen is
Let's
so
do-
cute. Oh my God.
Gadget 101.
Wait, have you ever Googled yourself?
Someone's Googled me and showed it to me, but I haven't.
How
really.
recently?
Time ago. I guess these are things I have to do. I guess.
You get us.
You get this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to Arlen now. Shan's question, please.
Okay. Will there be a break for you and the rest of the cast and crew for Christmas and New Year? And also, what are your Christmas and New Year holiday plans, if it's okay to share?
I mean, my assumption is yes, but but given that we're in a pandemic, I never want to be sure about these things.
Socialize.
I don't know. I mean, but I think so. I think that we are supposed to be going back to our prospective homes. I honestly haven't really thought that far. I haven't. I mean, I'd probably make food that is not popcorn, Alicia, and
Yes. Let's not traumatize some more people.
Ooh, the popcorn is coming back.
no. But
You need your kitchen too, Arlen.
I do.
Yeah, you need your kitchen. Yeah.
But I have a pasta maker, so I make some fresh pastas. Probably make the infamous tiramisu for sure. Cakes. If someone has a birthday, I'm probably gonna make them a cake. There's probably people birthdays. What else happens while we're relaxed?
Are you a big New Year's person? Like, do you go see
I'm
fireworks?
not.
Do you stay up till midnight?
I'm not. I like no. New Year's is complicated because I feel like sometimes there's a pressure that you're gonna have fun on New Year's, and then you're like, and when I was a kid, you family and everyone would be like 10, 9, and you do it together.
Yeah.
I would do it like multiple times. I do it with family in Chile, and then I do it where I was, or like if I had family members in other places. So, but then as an adult, I just felt like it wasn't as exciting. But maybe that'll change. You never know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
never.
Relatable.
Maybe I'll do something fun.
Yeah, you can do countdown with us
Yeah.
Oh, well, different.
for New Year.
You be ahead, right? Yes.
It's okay. We
Yeah,
can
we'll be
just
early.
change our clock.
We can
for you.
adjust our time.
Yes, for you. We got you.
Anything for you, Arlen and Ess.
We're gonna do countdown together.
Because okay.
No. We can talk about it later. No commitment right now. Yes.
Yeah. No promises.
No, it's okay. Okay, so shall we just go to the next question now? Grace, your question for Ess, please.
Oh, okay. What do you love the most about working with the cast and crew of Motherland for Salem?
Meeting people like Arlen.
Group hug.
So sweet.
Group hug.
Group hug.
It's such a highlight for, I think, me too as well. This is your question.
Arlen's such a it's fine. It's our question, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
For you actually, for both of you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's for the
Both of you.
Arlen's such a special person, and I mean, it's difficult to get to know people. Maybe, actually, I don't know. I've never worked on a show as a recurring guest star prior to the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people ask me, "Oh, is it hard to get to know your castmates?" And I'm like, "Harder than what? Like I'm not sure what's normal outside of this reality we're living in. Like I don't know if people used to go out for drinks after. I don't really drink at all, so
Same.
that would be anyways."
Okay.
Like even over the gap between the seasons, like Arlen saved the day for me with this absolutely crushing circus project I had made for myself. It's a silly story, but like I had this proof of concept. I wanted to shoot a video of it. I was pitching it to these cabarets in Europe. It didn't go well, the pitching, but the video day like was almost a complete bust. And Arlen like came in and was like my creative director for the day and like helped set the tone of the shoot and was like such a good, and I was a wreck. Like it takes a lot for me to be stressed to the point where I'm like, I don't think I can actually do it. And I had actually hit a point with this project where I was like, wow, I have been pushing from morning to night for 6 weeks to make this idea happen in a very unrealistic timeline, but I didn't want to not try because I thought I was going to maybe get a contract in Switzerland from it, which is not how it worked out. But I was like, oh, I don't even think I can make the shoot day happen. And Arlen made it happen. It was like,
Arlen's a hero. Oh, I love your friendship.
Waterfall crying like the night before. I was like, oh, do you think you can come? I was like, I can't do anything other than the contortion, and there's so many things to take care of. And Arlen was like, yes.
Arlen's so lovely.
Ess killed it though. I mean, I don't want to take credit, but like Ess was under such incredible stress and so many things were going wrong. Like everything you could imagine was going wrong. And they did it. And they fucking killed it. They did such an incredible job. And also, when you're doing contortion, like there's just so much your body can take.
Yeah.
So like you only have a couple takes to do that. And like even things like along that line were going badly. And like Ess was like literally like, and I was like, you can do this. You can actually do this. And they did. And
yeah. So I mean, the friendship
so proud of you
on the show.
So proud of you.
Show.
Yeah. Friendships are number one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love your friendship.
Okay. Now, let's go back to Arlen. Yeah. Yes, very organized. Sonnet, your question, please.
Okay. Okay, Arlen, what is a Christmas dinner must-have dish for you? So, let me just.
Oh, you're prepared.
Very good.
Now we have
To help you get into the festive mood,
Yes.
Arlen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tiramisu. Everyone that I have these dinners with are expecting the tiramisu to be there. So tiramisu. I also, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I do make butter squares. I was trying to get in touch with my Scottish roots. So I make shortbread. And I also make.
You have to explain what a butter square is. 'cause
Oh,
it
butter
sounds-
square.
Yeah.
yeah, please.
Sounds
Yes,
really
please.
gross.
Really
right?
yummy. It's called
Yeah.
shortbread. And it's truly just butter, flour, and sugar put together. But then you put it in the oven and you get to the perfect golden texture. And they just kind of melt in your mouth when you bite into them.
It's a very crumbly cookie,
This one's not that crumbly.
Shortbread.
It's chewy.
but shortbread base.
Chewy.
Yeah. Everyone has different
sorry.
shortbreads, just so you know. I don't make shortbread.
Go on.
Go on. The other thing that I would make is, because I did a lot of baking with my mom every time for festivities and holidays, and we would make this really decadent eggnog with like 3.25% milk and cream and nutmeg and triple sec and rum, and it's like fluffy and thick, and it's just like you drink it and that's a dessert in itself. So that usually, those are the staples. So there's like tiramisu, eggnog, shortbread. That's it.
Mm.
Sounds delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely sounds more wonderful than the popcorn.
Oh.
That is redemption, Arlen. There's redemption. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to ask a show question. Yeah, been tasked to ask a show question. So I was just wondering, at the end of season 2, Nicte said to Petra that the fight with the army is over, right? There was this line. So we know that Spree actually operates on a very decentralized organization structure, each having a cell leader, for example. Okay, so do you think that is there any chance that even though Nicte said the fight is over with the army, there are actually Spree cells that will go rogue?
Well, I think that Nicte in that moment says that she's saying that, meaning that her priority isn't the army in that moment. It's like how I took it. But I do think that she's going to still try and break down the military forced conscription post Camarilla winning. And I would imagine that not everyone would want to work with the army. So I would imagine that assumption is correct. I can't say that that is or is not in season 3, but I think that's a fair thing to consider.
So as personally, are you team army witches or team Spree?
Ooh.
Oh, that's such a good question.
Ooh.
Come on, S.
There's also Dodgers. There's also Dodgers.
Oh, there are also Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one are we going with? Spree, Dodger, or Army? Is it? No, I mean, do I have to pick between the two, or are we adding in Dodgers as an option?
Adding Dodgers.
Adding Dodgers is free. So.
You've been warned. Arlen is whispering to you because
Personally?
yeah.
Okay.
You've been captured. You've been captured.
Yep.
Free.
Look,
Oh, is it betrayal time?
I personally don't love how binary the distinctions are in military witch culture.
Mm-hmm.
I find it deeply problematic.
Yes.
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 However,
I agree.
However,
or murder.
oh, that little thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Between these two terrible
Wait, there's
options,
Dodgers too.
I think I'd be a Dodger.
There we go.
Yes, let's go. Let's go beat Dodgers.
Let's go.
Let's hide
I'm
and
out. I'm
live
out.
freely. Let's go.
Out.
Yeah, but okay.
I'm just saying, I think Arlen was saying this as well. It's like, we haven't really seen Dodgers, but I feel like there'd be a lot of cool queer and trans people in the Dodgers.
And the spree too. I think they've been the spree.
You're probably right, but I mean, they'd be cool with murder.
Come on.
Okay, as sitting on the fence there. Okay, yeah. So now let's go.
That was
to
hot seat, you know.
I'm sitting on the fence. Story of my life.
Okay, now to the last question. I guess the time is really running. So let's ask the last question. One of the many reasons that Motherland Fort Salem means so much to the fans is its representation. The POC as main characters, and of course the very beautiful and complex love story of Rayla. And in season 2, we are so excited with the inclusion of Arlen, and also the inclusion of the non-binary character of M. So the LGBTQ communities do not have it easy in Asia. Can you share your journey, if it's not too private? Can you share a journey of self-discovery and also living your authentic self with the Asian fans?
I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Go for it.
No, you go first.
No, you go first.
No, you go
No,
first.
you go. You go.
Oh, my personal one? Okay. Where do I start? I think I had a hard time for a long time because, I mean, in general, I didn't see any transgender people growing up. So I grew up in a town called Barrie in the province of Ontario in Canada. So it's about 90 minutes north of Toronto. And when I was growing up in Barrie in the 90s, it was very, very white. It was predominantly, you know, families who had just kind of like had a kid or two and didn't want to or couldn't afford to live in the city. And I don't think I even like met someone who I knew was gay or was openly gay until I was in high school. And it was like one guy who is now a nail technician. Like it was not a diverse expression of like people in the LGBT community either. But especially like for me, I never really felt troubled by questions of sexuality. My mom's quite liberal and was a nurse and raised me and my siblings to kind of try to be kind to like everyone. Because she was like, when I was a nurse, we treat people from all walks of life. Like it doesn't matter. Everyone deserves love and everyone deserves care and everyone deserves respect. And my little kid brain was like, yep, okay. So like, I didn't struggle with feeling like, oh, I'm attracted to the wrong person growing up. But I did feel confused about why like childhood friendships were like kind of splitting along gender binaries as they often do. My best friend growing up was a boy named Michael. And like, I thought me and Michael were exactly the same as little kids can, right? Like, I don't think gender conversations come in often unless maybe parents are talking a lot about gender. Like, no, that's what boys do, or this is what little girls do, right? My mom's family is like all scientists and doctors. So it wasn't ever those conversations. It was, here's an astronomy kit. Let's go learn how to use a microscope, that kind of stuff. I don't think I had a lot of dysphoria growing up. I never felt like I was born in the wrong body, which I'm glad is a dialogue that the trans community is starting to move away from, because I think it makes it harder for some people to find themselves. If you don't grow up being like, I'm a girl in a boy's body or a boy in a girl's body, then, you know, I think maybe it makes it harder to realize like how you are, because not everyone's origin story is the same, right? Like every superhero has a different origin story. It'd be very boring if we all had the same one. And I think that that dialogue was rooted in a lot of stuff about being transgender kind of being pathologized in the medical system, because in like, I think homosexuality was removed from our like catalogs as a mental illness in 1973. And like being transgender used to be called gender identity disorder. It was removed by the World Health Organization in 2008. But in 1994, it used to be called transsexualism. And before that, I don't even know what they called it. I guess it wasn't on the books. but it existed in this like broader way that was like the only way to access care, healthcare, hormone, surgical care, mental health care, in the context of it being wrong, in the context of it being something abnormal. And this is so divorced from the reality that people outside the gender of binary have always existed. But like colonialism and like white European settler culture is so dominant and hegemonic and has like crushed out so many beautiful things about the cultures that they colonized, that I think that a lot of people don't even realize that those are the stories that have existed for many, many times longer than our recent history. So I'm off on a total tangent here, but basically I'm kind of like, okay, I didn't feel like I was born in the wrong body, but I was like, wow, looking at like my older sibling going through puberty, I'm like, am I going to get boobs? Because I'm not cool with that. I don't want anything to do with that. My parents were like, oh, that's cute. And I was like, no, I don't want it. And they were like, oh, that's so cute. You'll grow out of it. And I was like, no, I don't think I will. That looks like a drag to me. No, thank you. But because like I didn't know that non-binary people existed, I was left for many years being like, oh, am I a transgender man? Because I didn't see examples of people who were separating gender identity from gender presentation. So how do I feel versus how do I like to look? And I definitely didn't meet anybody who even looked androgynous in a way where I was like, who are you? What are you about? I don't think I even heard the word non-binary until I was 23. And the jobs that I found my way into, whether it was circus or stunts, are also structured at a certain commercial level by binary. So it's like you double men or you double women in stunts. In circus, you're either like the most beautiful, delicate, prima ballerina fairy woman, or like a big, strong man, like carrying the woman through the air. Like it's so rigid in the roles that we want to hear stories told in a lot of ways. All of this is to say that it took me a really long time to be like, oh, it's okay to not want boobs and to not feel like a girl, but that doesn't mean that I'm a guy either. I think gender always felt like a performance to me, and I never really had much patience for social constructs that didn't make sense. And gender was one of those things for me. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, by the definition of this word, I'm not the gender that was assigned to me at birth. So I'm transgender, but I don't feel like a man and I don't feel like a woman. Luckily, there's this whole other umbrella with all these categories underneath it, which is non-binary. And I never really felt the need to get more specific than that, because I think it's also totally fine for people's gender identities to change and evolve and move back and forth over the course of their lifetime, which is only a conversation that I think is starting to happen now. People are so intense about things they see as detransitioning as like a sign that you made the wrong choice, and like there's so much pressure on people. But it's like, imagine if we were all just like, oh, cool, that's what you're doing right now. Wonderful. I have this piece of clothing I think you'd really like, you know, one day, maybe. And I still think that my gender identity is a kind of will be in a state of constant exploration. I have people ask me if I'm like done transitioning, and I don't think I ever will be. And I don't want to be. So I try to talk about that online as much as I can, because I wish that I had had examples of that growing up. I think it would have been less painful to grow up that way. And I think things are starting to change, at least in the online conversations that I see happening.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. In Asia, we are still quite backward. We are still in that the kind of state where the society is very uncomfortable. They try to avoid talking about something that we do not know or don't know enough of, and feel uncomfortable talking about it. So we are still at that state. So right now I would like to prompt Logan in. Logan would like to do a bit of sharing. Yes,
yeah, it's
Logan.
Yeah. Hello, it's the reason why I'm here actually, because I identify as trans mass non-binary. Thank you. So
the other reason is also because you admire both of them very much, Logan. Yeah. Remember that?
I'm so nervous.
Continue. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah. Oh. So I'm so thankful about the show and this opportunity, yeah, being with you all and meeting you all. So yeah, I'm so thankful because the show I get to meet people, my kind of people that I get too comfortable with, to see me, make me feel validated and accepted. But living in Asia is really hard, because we're surrounded by this religion, culture, tradition that are so far from discussing about LGBTQ plus community. And in Philippines, it's so hard because we're the only country that's Christian country. So it's more 80% of the population is Christian and religious, conservative, all of that. And it's still patriarchal world government. So I growing up, I didn't know about LGBTQ plus or transgender really. It's when I can terms to being true to yourself. But it was really it took me a lot of time to accept myself because I didn't know or didn't see myself in TV, or there's no presentation. Because honestly, even women couple or gay couple on TV, it's not shown that the kissing scenes are hidden. It's not like the straights. It's shown. I mean, it's like they're hiding something that it's normal. It exists. It should be tackled. It should be talked about. So with the help of internet and other shows in other countries, it helped me realize that who I am and what I identify as. I'm sorry.
And also to make also to make things worse, the family doesn't usually are not very accepting. So when you have your closest people that are not even accepting of who you are, or it's tough. Sorry, back to you, Logan.
It come about family too. It's hard being your true self. I growing up, I'm so distant. I'm so reserved. I'm not expressive a lot about myself because there's a part of me that I keep hiding. That's hidden because coming out is hard in a household that you're gonna be thrown out Bible verses up. You're gonna say, oh, you're being who you are is a sin. You're gonna go to hell, like that. It's always in the talk. It's always in. Asians are family oriented, so every occasion, birthdays, feast days. There's so many occasions we have. We even made it to holidays. So we're gonna talk about the kids. We're gonna like parents gonna brag about, oh, this is my kid. This is what they do, and then there's like, oh, this is a disappointment. Something. Yeah. It's so. Shan, I'm so sorry, Shan. Yeah, Shan
went off to cry. I think.
Because
it happens.
We live in the same country.
It's all right.
It's so hard telling yourself like, oh, I'm transgender, I'm gay, because there's a possibility we get disowned. It's a possibility that our family that we love so much, that we look up to, that our heroes tell us that you're not allowed to be yourself. That's a sin. I mean, it's against natural law. I have a brother too who's in the community, and it's hard being told that being who you are or transitioning is against human law or God's law. And it's hard because you have to hide the part of yourself that's supposed to be your, it's hard to come out on a place that's supposed to be your support system, supposed to be your safe place. And also it's important to have these forums or shows, representations, and find your own people, find people who accepts you, who sees you. I'm so thankful because last year on the pandemic, it's really hit hard. Business are closing. We can't go to friends. We can't go out from time to time away from the place. Like you feel suffocated. You feel like you're hiding a part of yourself. So last year I found Motherland, Fort Salem. I made friends, like Ukshan's one of them, and Sonet too. I found so many people that are on the community and the same stories as me, and it's like heartwarming that we get the same we have the same stories growing up, and we're still hiding or who we love or what we love, and like it's I want that we don't have to come out anymore. Like we're just gonna be free. We're gonna walk freely to be ourselves, and there's no judgment. There's no people saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to be yourself. You're disgusting," something like that. Because it's just hard hiding a part of yourself. You want to be true to yourself, and people judge you for who you are, and other people has more done many horrible things, and they don't get to judge about that. But us, we just exist, and we're being judged, saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to live," something like that. It's just hard. So I'm so thankful for this show and people like this. We get to talk about it, and we get to be ourselves. We get each other support. I'm so proud of Fort Salem fans because it's so supportive. The arts, the edits, and the birthdays they greet on Twitter timeline. Like I never had this growing up. I never had friendships who celebrate my existence. I'm sorry. Like this, they're so supporting, and I never had that. Like, yeah. Thank you for this.
I've had a lot of people tell me that I shouldn't be here too. I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm an abomination or that I shouldn't exist. Even sometimes people who love you hurt you, like you're saying, more than people that don't, because of the people that you grew up thinking that you could trust and who are supposed to love you unconditionally. And I'm really sorry if that's a part of your life still. And I want to say your existence is something to be celebrated. Your existence is wonderful and beautiful and exciting and awesome. And it's not a sin and it's not wrong. And it's going to be okay.
We will be your support system.
Group hub.
Okay,
Group hub.
let's go,
It's
let's
time
go.
for group hub. Come, Logan.
Get in here, Logan.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, in fact, many countries in Asia, for example, same gender relations are still punishable by death in Asia.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, and in Asia, only 2 countries have legalized same gender marriage. So that's to tell you how the situation is like here. Yeah. So thank you, Logan, for the sharing, and it must not be easy. But this is to tell you, Ess and Arlen, how important this show is to so many fans. So we were completely distraught when we heard news of the 3rd season being announced, and that being the final season. So as you know, fans are trying very hard to fight for more seasons. You've seen the spree balloons to Hulu. And the Billboard, the fundraiser has raised I think $4,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, $4,000, and it's
fans.
happening. It's happening already, and there will be billboards put up in New York City as well as Los Angeles. Yeah, so I will send you the details. So so we are still fighting and we are still hoping. But maybe can you share? Did you find out the same time as we did that the
announcement?
The announcement. And what was your immediate
reaction?
thought? If you can share.
Oh well, it was bittersweet because we were like, oh, season 3.
Let's go now.
You're like, "Woo!" I think that we're grateful for the show in many ways in terms of being able to connect together, and also like the impact that it's clearly having on a lot of people is so important, and this interview just makes that even more clear on how many levels and the reach and the scope of it and what it can do for some people's lives. So yeah, I really hope that we can get those more seasons. I hope that
Yes.
it will continue, and
We will keep fighting.
yeah, keep fighting, and just discovering the Discords and the Twitter and all these people that we're now connected to, it just speaks to that larger family that it has been created regardless of what happens with the show. And there's so much to say about chosen family. There's so many ideas of what your mom or what your dad or what your family and how people should love you and care about you, and that's just not the case for a lot of people. And so chosen family is huge, and finding those people is just so beautiful. And so if that is the least that comes out of this show, then I am very happy. And I hope we can continue doing that on this show and on others, because we need more.
Yes.
We need more representation.
Yes.
We need more
Yes.
nuance. We need more detail.
More non-binary representations.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I feel.
I don't think I can say it any better.